A font, also called typeface, refers to a collection of characters and symbols with a common appearance or design. One can enhance a document's appearance by using different fonts for different parts of the document: headings, paragraphs, proper nouns, etc. As an example, you will find that the standard font used in newspapers is the Times font. The font formatting features in Word allow you to alter the predefined font settings with new styles and effects. There are two ways to apply a font. The first way is to select the text, which would be just a word, a line, a paragraph, or even the whole document, and then apply the font. The second way is to define the font first and then start typing. The latter is useful if you wish to alter the default font setting for new text to be typed. However, remember to ensure that the insertion point is located at the appropriate place from where the altered font is to appear. You can apply new fonts from the font icon on the toolbar or the font dialog box by selecting Format Font. To use the font icon, you need to click the down arrow key next to the font text box. Scroll through the list of fonts. Click on the font name you wish to select. Each font name is listed in the particular design style that it represents. In the font dialog box, you have a similar font list at the top left corner that allows you to scroll through the list of fonts. Here, additionally, you have a preview window to see the effect of the chosen font on the text. The font dialog box has many more font formatting functions. Font allows you to specify the overall appearance and design or typeface. Font style lets you emphasize the font in italics or bold or both. Size lets you define the size of the character in points. 1 point equals 1/72 of an inch. The character size is directly proportional to the point number. Underline lets you define the type of underline effect under the text: single, dashed, double, etc. Font color allows you to define the color of the text as it appears on the screen and on a printout if printed on a color printer. Underline color allows you to draw underlines in color. Strike through applies a horizontal line across the center of the text. Superscript allows you to format characters that will appear higher than the normal baseline. Subscript allows you to format characters that will appear lower than the normal baseline. Shadow adds a dull gray shadow behind the text. Outline formats the font in such a way that it appears only with the inner and outer borders. Emboss applies a raised three-dimensional effect on the text. Engrave applies a depressed three-dimensional effect on the text. Small caps defines text in small uppercase letters, with the first letters of each word in the normal uppercase size. All caps defines the text in all uppercase letters. Hidden hides the characters from view. By far the most commonly used font style is the bold feature, usually applied to headings and subheadings. It applies a thick pen nib effect to the font characters so that they appear more bright and visible. To apply the bold effect to a selection, you need to select the text. Click on the B button on the formatting toolbar, or select bold from the font style area of the font dialog box, or press Ctrl+B from the keyboard. To define the bold effect to text that will be entered, you need to position the insertion point where the bold style should appear from. Click on the B button in the formatting toolbar, or select bold from the font style area of the font dialog box, or Press Ctrl plus B from the keyboard. Type in the text. The second commonly used font style generally used for speech or a new term is the italics feature. It applies a rightward tilt to the character style so that the text appears different and distinct from the others. To apply the italics effect to a selection, you need to select the text. Click on the I button on the formatting toolbar, or select italic from the font style area of the font dialog box, or press Ctrl plus I from the keyboard. To define the italics effect to the text that will be entered, you need to position the insertion point where the italic style should appear from. Click on the I button on the formatting toolbar, or select italic from the font style area of the font dialog box, or press Ctrl plus I from the keyboard. Type in the text. You can apply a large variety of underline effects to your text. The default underline setting is the single underline, which can be applied by using the U icon on the formatting toolbar, or by pressing Ctrl plus U from the keyboard. As in the case of bold and italics, you can either select the text to be underlined and then apply the style, or define the underline style and then type in the text. You can also choose the type of underline to be used. This is available only from the font dialog box. You need to select Format, Font. Click on the down arrow next to the Underline Style box. Select the type of underline you want. Click on OK to apply. The highlight feature is a digital version of using the conventional highlighter pen on text to be emphasized. Like its pen version, Word's default highlight pen color is yellow, but it can be customized to any color. To apply text highlights to pre-selected text, you need to select the text to be highlighted. Click on the highlight icon on the formatting toolbar. If this icon is not available on the toolbar, you need to add the icon. To add an icon to a toolbar, you need to click on the More Buttons button of the toolbar. Select Add or Remove Buttons. Select the Format button you want to add to the toolbar. Click outside the button list. To apply text highlights to non-selected text, you need to click on the highlight icon on the formatting toolbar to enable it. Drag the mouse over those text portions that you want highlighted. Since the highlight feature is enabled, you can select text in different parts of the document to continue applying the highlight effect. To switch off the highlight function, you need to press Escape from the keyboard, or click the highlight button again to toggle it off. To remove highlighting from the text, you need to select the highlighted text, click on the highlight button to disable it. To change the color of highlighting, you need to click on the down arrow next to the highlight button. From the range of colors, select the color you want. As you may be aware, there are two cases of characters, uppercase and lowercase. MS Word provides 5 options to alter the case of text from the Change Case dialog box. This formatting can be applied only after the text has been selected. Let us assume that the text we wish to apply change case to is "The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog." To invoke the change case dialog box, you need to select Format, Change Case. This dialog box shows all the options, and here below are all the effects. Sentence case. The first word starts with a capital letter and the others are lowercase. Lowercase. All the letters are in lowercase. Uppercase. All the letters are in uppercase. Title case. All the first letters of the words are in uppercase. Toggle case. All the cases are reversed from how they were in the original sentence. The drop cap feature allows you to divert the reader's attention to the beginning of a chapter or paragraph. This feature lets you define the first letter as a large-sized letter so that it appears as a drop-down capital letter alongside the next few lines of text. The remaining text flows around the dropped uppercase letter. To apply drop cap, you need to click anywhere within the paragraph that should start with a drop case letter. Select Format, Drop Cap. To open the drop cap dialog box, select an option from the position area. Click on OK to apply the effect. You can apply additional enhancement to the drop cap effect by altering the font of the drop cap letter and/or changing the number of lines of text it is dropped by and/or altering the distance of the drop cap letter from the main document. All the text effects covered so far are applied to the basic text and will be printed just as they appear on screen. Word also has a horde of other visually attractive and animated text effects. These effects are available from the font dialog box. Here is a table defining each. To use special text effects, you need to select the text to which the text effect is to be applied. Select Format, Font to open the font dialog box. Click on the Text Effects tab to bring it forward. Most of the font formatting features covered have associated keyboard shortcuts. Here is a table of the frequently used font formatting shortcuts. As you have seen, a Word document has 6 basic elements, from the smallest to the largest element. At the smallest level is the single character, letter, number, symbol, object, or even the blank space. The next level is the word, a combination of characters. The third level is the line, a combination of words. The fourth level is the paragraph, a combination of lines and ending with an end of paragraph mark. The fifth level is the page, a group of paragraphs that are laid out within the limits of a defined paper size. At the largest level is the whole document. So far you have learned how to apply font formatting features to words, lines and paragraphs. Word 2000 has many formatting options for the paragraph that lets you enhance its appearance. For manually controlling finer adjustments of paragraph formatting features, you would need to use the paragraph dialog box. To invoke this, select Format, Paragraph. The Indent and Spacing tab allows you to choose paragraph alignment, left, right, centered, and justified. Set indentation from the left, right, or define a special one. Set line spacing from the predefined list under Line Spacing. Control finer adjustments with the before and after selections. Sample the effect of a paragraph formatting option in the preview window. The Line and Page Breaks tab helps you control page break definition and how lines will behave when they encounter a page break. Many of the general paragraph formatting options are also available from the formatting toolbar. There are 4 buttons for paragraph alignment: left, right, centered, and justified. The current selection shows justified alignment. There are 2 buttons for increasing indentation: decrease indent and increase indent. There are 2 buttons for applying bullets and numbers. Aligning text involves controlling the layout of the paragraph text in relation to the left and right margins. By default, text is left aligned, giving it a neat flush along the left margin and a jagged, uneven right margin. Right alignment gives a neat flush along the right margin and a jagged left margin. Center alignment positions the paragraph lines equidistant from both margins. Justified alignment spaces out the words in each line so that both the left and the right margins are neatly arranged. You can modify the alignment of a paragraph by placing the insertion point within the paragraph. Clicking on the appropriate alignment button on the toolbar. Indenting involves controlling the paragraph alignment position with respect to the left and right margins. You can have a document where a particular paragraph is indented more on any one or both sides from the rest of the text. This feature is particularly useful when using numbers. There are many ways to indent paragraphs. The left indent formatting allows for paragraphs with positive numbers to be left aligned, while paragraphs with negative numbers appear to the left of the left margin. The right indent formatting allows for paragraphs with positive numbers to be right aligned, while paragraphs with negative numbers appear to the right of the right margin. The special indent formatting lets you define first line indent, hanging indent, or no indent. First line indent indents only the first line of the paragraph. Hanging indent keeps the first line left aligned and indents the rest of the paragraph. None nullifies a previously defined indentation. By how many inches defines the distances in 1/10 of an inch of the indent from the margin. The increment and decrement arrows alter the distance values. Documents that have lists within the text can be more presentable by arranging the lists with a bullet or number prefix. Bulleted lists are usually indented and begin each paragraph individual entity with the same bullet symbol. Numbered lists are also indented and numbers the list in a sequential arrangement of the numbering style used. By default, the style of bullet or number that will be applied is determined by whatever was last used. To use bullets or numbers, you need to select the text that you want to turn into a list, or place the insertion point where you want to start typing a new list. Click on the bullets or numbering buttons on the formatting toolbar to use default settings, or select Format, Bullets and Numbering to open the Bullets and Numbering dialog box. Select one of the tabs, Bulleted, Numbered or Outline Numbered, depending on the type of lists you want. Select the desired formatting style from the gallery of styles. Click on OK. For outlined bullets, you need to indent each lower level by one default tab position. You can also choose the type of bullet by clicking on the picture button and choosing a different bullet symbol. The Customize button additionally lets you customize the bullet or number style, set indentation distance from the left margin, set the distance of the text from the bullet or number, and in the case of numbers, also lets you define what the starting number in the series should be. The next higher level of formatting options applies to the page. Page formatting features let you define settings that control paper size, orientation, margins, etc. on a page or group of pages. To use page formatting, you need to select File, Page Setup. All the page formatting features are available from the 4 tabs in this Page Setup dialog box: Margins, Paper Size, Paper Source, Layout. The Margins tab lets you define the left, right, top and bottom margins for a paragraph, pages, whole documents, or for pages that appear from the insertion point onward. You use the increment and decrement arrows to alter the margins. This tab also allows you to set the position or distance of the header and footer from the top and bottom margins respectively. Mirror margins ensure that the inner and outer margins of both sides of a page are corresponding to each other. Gutter margins accommodate the portion of paper that goes into the binding of a document. It can be set on the left or the top. The Apply To option allows you to define where you wish to apply the formatting, whole document, insertion point onward, or a selected section. You can also invoke the Page Setup dialog box by double-clicking the ruler to the left of the indent markers. The second tab, Paper Size, allows you to set the page size and orientation. The default paper size is letter, 8.5 inches width by 11 inches height. You can change the paper size by clicking on the down arrow next to the paper size text box and selecting from a range of available paper sizes. You can also define your very own paper size by selecting the Customize option. Orientation refers to the manner in which the document is laid out on the selected paper size. It can be portrait or it can be landscape. Depending on the paper size and margins specified, Word lays out your document text within pages. Whatever cannot be accommodated within a page rolls over to the next page. By default, Word uses soft page breaks, the automatically generated ones, to mark the end of a page. This can be viewed as a dotted line in the normal view. Select View, Normal. At times, the soft page break appears in the middle of a sentence, thereby cutting the line into two parts. In such a case, you can do one of two things: insert a hard page break or use the Keep Lines Together feature. You can insert a hard page break by placing the insertion point where the page break is to be inserted and pressing Ctrl plus Enter from the keyboard, or by selecting Insert Break to open the break dialog box and then selecting Page and clicking on OK. The hard page break also appears as a dotted line, but the dots are denser and the phrase page break appears in the middle of the dotted line. To remove a hard page break, you need to place the insertion point on the hard page break line. Press the Delete key on the keyboard. The second way to prevent lines from breaking across pages is by using the Keep Lines Together feature. To use the Keep Lines Together feature, you need to select Format, Paragraph. Select the Line and Page Breaks tab. Mark the Keep Lines Together option under the pagination area. Click on OK. Headers and footers are pieces of information that are repeated across all the pages of a document. Headers appear at the top, above the top margin, while footers appear below the bottom margin. You have already seen how to define the position of headers and footers by using File, Page Setup. You can also define types of headers or footers that are identical across all pages, or different ones for odd and even pages, or a different first page versus the rest of the document. In Word, you can define simple headers or footers comprising text and numbers, or complex ones with logos, symbols, and pictures. You can view headers or footers only when you choose View Print Layout or File Print Preview. To create headers or footers, you need to select View, Header and Footer command. Word switches into the Print Layout view and displays the header and footer toolbar. The top and bottom of the page shows outlined text entry boxes in which you will insert the elements. At a time, you can define either the header or the footer. By default, you are allowed to define the header first. You can change between the header or footer outlined text boxes by clicking on the Switch Between Header and Footer button on the Header and Footer toolbar. You can click on any of the toolbar buttons to insert predefined elements. Insert page number allows you to define a page number on all pages. Insert number of pages allows you to define the total number of pages in the document. Format page number lets you format the numbering style. Insert date allows you to insert the current date. Insert time allows you to insert the current time. Page Setup invokes the Page Setup dialog box with the Layout tab in front. From here, you can define your preferences of applying uniform headers or footers or different headers or footers. Same as previous, allows you to define the previously formatted header for the current page. In a setup where all pages may not have uniform headers and footers. Show Previous shows the text entry box of the header or footer of the previous page. Show Next shows the text entry box of the header or footer of the next page. Close lets you close the header and footer toolbar and resume working on the document. The Page Numbers feature in Word allows you to automatically insert page numbers without having to define the details in the header and footer text entry box. To number pages in a document, you need to place the insertion point where you want the page numbering to commence. Select Insert Page Numbers to open the Page Numbers dialog box. Here you can choose to position your page number in any of the predefined locations. Top of page, header, places the page number in the header region. Bottom of page, footer, places the page number in the footer region. Alignment lets you align the page number with respect to the left or right margins. Left aligns the page number flush with the left margin. Right aligns the page number flush with the right margin. Center aligns the page number centered between left and right margins. Inside aligns the page number in the inside margin in mirrored margins. Outside aligns the page number on the outside margin in mirrored margins. To format the page number, you need to click on the Format button in the Page Number dialog box. Here, you can define the number style from a range of numeric, upper or lowercase alphabetic, upper or lowercase Roman numeral types. You can choose to include the chapter name in the page number by marking the checkbox against Include Chapter Number. Chapter numbers can also be customized to have a predefined heading format and separated from the page numbers by a symbol from a range of available types. Once all the settings have been defined, you can click on the OK button or press Enter from the keyboard to confirm the settings and apply the page numbering.